Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I am the Lone Wolf, and before we start this in-game garage tour video, I would like to give a huge shout out to Mr. Jack Bubas or Bubas. I am very sorry, sir, if I mispronounce your name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'd like to give you a huge shout out. You are the most recent commenter on one of my videos, and you said, "Keep it up, man." I really appreciate the support, any support that I can get, especially since I'm such a small channel. If you say, "Keep it up, man," or "Great job, man," that is really helpful. That I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, here we are on Farming Simulator 19. We have a new video for the Farming Simulator in-game garage tour, and yes, I finally climbed the tree. It is almost impossible for me to climb this tree. I have no idea why. But today, we are looking at hay equipment. We have over there, way in the back row, those four are mowers. Then we've got 3 tedders. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windrowing machines or rakes. We've got 3 balers, a wrapper, 2 stackers, a front loader attachment, a trailer, and then over here we've got, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loading wagons, which I will show you what those are for later. Loading wagons can also be considered forage wagons. Alright, so let's hop down. Yes, I climbed the huge tall tree, so let's see if I can hop down. Yeet! Yay! That is so fun to do, even though you fall a little bit too fast. But let's start back here with mowers. We've got the New Holland mower. This is the New Holland Discbine 313. I love this mower. I really love it. It's just very classic looking. Anytime that I have a mower in my game, if I'm not using mods or that one, I think there is actually a modded version of this, which I use more of in this, but I love this. It's just like the most classic looking mower, disc mower that you can have. This arm folds out, and it pulls, like, say if the tractor is sitting right here, the arm folds out so that the mower's there, so you're not running over the stuff that you're cutting. So that way, if the field line is right here, your tractor's on the outside of the field, while the mower's on the inside of the field doing the work. Now, there is one odd thing about this. These things. See this flap here and this panel here? Those two things are supposed to be windrowing panels. Okay, so when you start this, these are supposed to fold in to, like, maybe line up with the edges of this triangle here, so that it makes its own windrow. They don't fold in, which I have no idea why. But yeah, this is an awesome disc mower. I love it. I'm not sure if I can get a look at the blades inside. Doesn't look like I will be able to, but let's take a look at the specs. To look at these, you will go into Tools. You will go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the 8th column. On the top row, it will be the mowers. It is the first mower in the slot. It is the New Holland Agricultural Discbine 313. It is $17,000. It requires 66 kilowatts or 90 horsepower, so every tractor can run it. And since it's trailed, it doesn't really need a front weight, so that's really nice. 4 meters wide, so it can get the job done pretty well, and a 13 mile per hour max working speed. No extra configurations are available on this New Holland Discbine. I love it. And it's a very cheap option for a mower. It's very nice. But yeah, nameplate is right there. You've got New Holland, and then you've got Discbine 313. Our next mower is this. This is a Kuhn disc mower. This is just your standard disc mower, except for the fact that it's folded. Usually you'd see a disc mower and it's always, the tractor would park here and it would automatically be out like that. But yeah, this is the Kuhn GMD 4411. The nameplate Kuhn is right there on the motor, and then the nameplates can be found on the mower arm. This one is probably, this is a very nice classic looking mower as well. I love it. My dad has one like this, except he doesn't ever have it straight like that, where the tractor would be in line with the mower. He has it perpendicular. But his is also a Crown brand. I don't think he it's not a Kuhn, I know that. But yeah, this is a really nice disc mower. Let's check out the specs. It's in the same tab, but it's just in the second slot. Another odd occasion or instance where the cheaper mower is after the more expensive mower. Probably just because it's bigger by a small amount. But yeah, this is a GMD 4411. It is $16,000 base price. 59 kilowatts and 80 horsepower required, so every tractor can run this one as well. 4.3 meters wide, so just a slight bit bigger than that New Holland disc bind before. 13 mile per hour max working speed, and since this is not a trailed, this is a 3-point mower. It is actually on the tractor off the ground at all times. It is recommended for use with a SB 1000 or the AGCO 1100 front weights. But yeah, no extra configurations are available, so that $16,000 is the price you'll see. I love this mower. It's a little bit, this one I would say is a little bit easier to park, where this one is almost more easily manipulated while doing your work, because this one is attached to the tractor. This one follows the route of the tractor. So say you're going in a straight line and you make a curve, you'll have to make a wider turn because of this, because then when the tractor turns, this one will kind of make a shorter arc behind the tractor, where this one, when you have your tractor, you're facing this way, you're turning, all you got to do is compensate for the extra length on your tractor so you don't beat a car that's going next to you making a turn. So I believe this one's probably easier to maneuver in a field, or that one's easier to park because of the fact that it's a trailer. Now we have the modern mower. These are the Pottinger Nova Cats, or Nova Cats, however you want to pronounce it. These are found right after these. I'm going to look at both of them at the same time. First, we've got the, where's the model number on this? There's Alpha Motion. It must be underneath there, so I can't actually see that. But yeah, this one is the NovaCat X8 ED, and this one I believe is like the 301 ED. Yes, so this is the Pottinger NovaCat. This is a small one. This is $19,000. This requires 51 kilowatts or 70 horsepower. So alone, it can be run by any tractor. 3.1 meters wide, so actually smaller than both the Kuhn and the New Holland. So that's why I always think if you're going to spend $19,000, why not get the disc bind or the GMD, save $2,000 or $3,000 and have a wider mower. So in my opinion, this Kuhn is the most practical, just because it's the cheapest, it's the widest, and it's very easily manipulated. This one is more expensive and it's narrower. But yes, this is used alongside the X8 ED, which is what we were looking at next. This is the X8 ED. This is like a batwing mower, I guess you can consider it. Each of these wings folds down and can be attached to the back of the tractor. And then, of course, those little flaps fold over the side, but that's just there for design purposes. This one is $42,000. It requires 118 kilowatts or 160 horsepower, so quite a bit of tractors can run it. All medium tractors can run this, but just some of the small ones. This is 8.4 meters wide, 13 mile per hour max working speed, and if you are wanting to have a full swath, nothing missed in the middle, you would want to use the 301 ED, which is the smaller Pottinger. And if you do not, and you're still using a tractor at the 160 horsepower range or area, it is recommended for use with the Sewer 2400, our heaviest recommended weight in the in-game garage tour so far. And that's just because this thing is so heavy, and normally you'd be using the NovaCat 301 as a front weight. No extra configurations are available on either of these. So technically, if you're thinking most logically, you would be paying $61,000 for this mower set. Now, since we have concluded the mower portion, let's move on to the dryers, or in the Farming Simulator game standards, the tedders. Tedders. Sorry, I almost had a brain fart there. We have a small one, a medium one, and a large trailed one. These are both lifted up by the 3-point. So let's start with this. This is the Vicon Fanex 604. This is in the 8th column, 2nd row. Hang on, I gotta set that up again. There we go. This is $11,000, requires a surprising 44 kilowatts and 60 horsepower. It is 6 meters wide, requires 11 mile per hour max working speed. No extra configurations are available, but I do love this tedder just because of the fact that every in-game small tractor can run it, and it is actually a good width. So with this, that arm folds down, and then the rest of that arm falls, and then same on that side. When the PTO turns, it turns this little, oh wow, this itty bitty mower in here, there's gearbox in here, which turns all of these stars, if you want to call them that. See, you've got your circle here, your hub, I guess. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tines, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 tines of 2. And that turns, and when you run it over the freshly mowed grass, which you would use that to cut, all 4 of those to cut, it will dry it. It will turn it over. It's kind of like a pancake almost, or an egg. You cut it, so that would be the crack of the egg onto the pan. One side gets cooked, and this would be your spatula. You put the spatula on the egg and you turn it over, and it dries or cooks the rest of the side. So and then, of course, you just bale it with the baler. So I guess that would be your plate, and you'd eat it up. And I guess the cows would be the people. The cows are eating the egg that you have spent so much time cracking into the pan, mowing, tedding, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, now we move on to the Kuhn. I believe this is a Kuhn GF8712. This is a much wider tedder. As you can see, it is about the same height. I guess I would say it was very close to the same height. It's just got that extra set of wings that fold out that make it just a bit wider, because as you can see, the height is about the same, but it adds that extra width with these 2 wings right here, which adds, I think, just an extra set of 5 tines. Actually 6 tines on this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's actually more it's a more diverse tedder. But this is the Kuhn. I love this thing. This is actually my most used tedder just because of the fact that it is very convenient. It is very wide. And let's check out the specs. It is the second one. It is 16,000. It requires only 29 kilowatts and 40 horsepower. So that is one of the main reasons. Now, it is 8.7 meters wide. So that is 2.7 meters wider than the Vicon Fanex. Now, that would mean that each of these extra arms would be 1.35 meters wide, because then it would be 2.7. Yeah. But yeah, this is probably my favorite tedder, just because of the fact, like I said, it requires less horsepower, and it is barely more expensive, and it's wider. But yeah, and then this is also recommended for use with either the AGCO 650 or the Sewer SB 700. Now, that is because this thing is bigger and it's heavier, so the small tractors, anything that's like above 40, like the New Holland T6, I think it is, and then other ones that are smaller than that, those would be popping wheelies like crazy with this thing on the back lifted up off the ground. Now we move on to the biggest tedder in the game, and this thing is way bigger. This is the Pottinger HIT 1214T. This is completely trailed. When it is running, it is trailed as well. So you would hitch this to the back of your tractor or truck or whatever you want to do, anything that has a PTO, and these are always on the ground. And it's got its own jack and everything. Excuse me. Wow. Now, this one is $27,000. It requires 55 kilowatts and 75 horsepower. It is 13 meters wide, requires 11 mile per hour max working speed, and it is very, very large. Now, I think, just like I thought, Yeah, it's only got 2 arms. It's got this arm that folds out there, and then it's got this extra little portion that goes all the way out to here to the end, which folds out. So it's got the same amount of arms as this coon. It's just longer arms. Now, take a look at this mod. This is actually a DLC, which I will be reviewing later in my videos, because after I get done with the Farming Simulator in-game garage tour, I'm going to be starting my a Farming Simulator series, or Let's Play, which, guys, unfortunately, it will not be on Bucks County because I found out that the slot count is way too high and I cannot buy the equipment I want, so I've decided to make it on Welker Farms. It is much more flat, it is easier to work with, and it has a very low slot count. But yeah, check out this. This thing is 11 meters wide, but it is folded, and it is lifted up by the 3-point, and it is a gigantic. It is 11.2 meters wide. And it is recommended for use with the SP700, so that is pretty obvious. But yeah, that is tedders. Those things are dryers, or in my case, spatulas. They turn grass over to the other side, so the other side can be cooked by the sun. Now we move on to windrowers or rakes. Sorry guys, my throat is getting very dry right now. Hang on, I'm gonna take a drink of this. Excuse me, I apologize for that. But yeah, here we have a second pottinger. This is a windrower. This is the thing that, this would be the cutting of the egg or pancake. This is the form. This is what takes all that hay that has been cut into grass and tedded into hay and puts it into a nice organized row so that the baler can pick it up much easier. So we have the Pottinger TOP 462 single wheel windrower. So as you can see, it's got one wheel here. Each thing has a bracket on the end of it right there and like right there. Each of these goes into it, and it has a big amount of tines. It looks like how many is on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tines each. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 arms, 12 tines each. That is a big amount. It's 144. But yeah, this one is not trailed, I don't believe, but it is a very nice one. Let's check out the specs. This is in the 8th row, and it is in 8th column and 3rd row down. This is the TOP 462. It is $10,000. It requires 37 kilowatts and 50 horsepower. 11 mile per hour max working speed, and is 4.6 meters wide. Now this is how it looks when it is together. As you can see, all the tines are in, and the panel over here, hang on, let me see if I can get over to it. Yeah, that panel where it says Pottinger right there, that is the blocker panel, so that all the grass is thrown against that and formed into a nice, neat row. And that is why they call it windrow. Sometimes I don't know why, judge me if you want to, but I call them hay rows because I never understood why they call them windrows, because the wind is not putting them into rows, so yeah. But yeah, so now we move on to my favorite rake in the entire game, and I can probably say it's my favorite rake in the entire game, including mods, just because of the fact that it looks classic. It's a dual-sided wheel rake, and look at these rake teeth. Those things are huge. But, and this is the thing that my dad kind of always wanted. He always wanted that thing that would fold out, and it would, instead of taking just one, like our current rake does, which I can actually show you what our current rake looks like, sort of. Imagine this, or this on wheels, okay? With much smaller tine wheels, though. Imagine that on wheels, and that's what rake we have. So you actually have to go down the row and come back just to complete the row. Now this would take both rows and put them into one and cut your work in half. So I think right now, when I'm raking the hay, I think it takes maybe 4 hours to rake. My dad maybe 3.5, just because he's a little more skilled with like point rows and everything. This would cut it down to 2 hours. That would be really, really nice because it would leave a lot more time for it to dry, and it would maybe allow us to rake that day. Where normally we would have to let it dry overnight, dry throughout the day, and when my dad would get home from work, he would bale the hay. But yeah, let's check out the specs on this. This is right after the Pottinger TOP 462. This is the Kuhn SR314. This is 23,000 and requires 26 kilowatts and 35 horsepower. So an extremely low amount of horsepower, one of the least amount of horsepower needed in any piece of equipment in the game. This is a whopping 8.5 meters compared to 4.6 in the Pottinger, and requires 11 mile per hour max working speed, or it has a max working speed of 11 miles per hour. But yeah, this is a very nice rake. But yeah, so now we move on to our two very similar windrowers. This is a single windrower. It's supposed to kind of work like this, but it's got wheels instead of the or it's got, I should say, horizontal wheels instead of vertical wheels. Because see, vertical wheels, you've got like this, where horizontal, you would have them like this when they're folded down. This one is just this makes literally flipping 2 rows of hay made with one pass. It takes 4 passes of mower and puts them all into 2 rows. Okay, so see, this folds out, this side makes one, and this side makes one. But yeah, we're not looking at that one right now. Let's look at this. The nameplate is right here. It's the Kuhn GA9531. The nameplate for this one is right there. It's the Speed Rake SR300. But yeah, this is $30,000. It requires 55 kilowatts and 75 horsepower. It is 9.3 meters wide, so it is actually not that much bigger than the Kuhn SR314. And it requires, it has once again an 11 mile per hour max working speed. No extra configurations are available, so far nothing has had extra configurations. No mowers, no tedders, no windrowers. Now we have the big Lely Hibiscus 1515 CD Profi, and as you can see, if you have any trouble with your windrower, visit us on the web at www.lely.com. Yeah, so this one is much more expensive. This is $32,000 more than our previous one. This is the Hibiscus 1515 CD Profi. It is $62,000, which is kind of understandable. I mean, it only requires 110 horsepower. I mean, mowers, windrowers, and tedders don't really require that much horsepower, but this is double the width of the, or I guess not literally double, but it's supposed to be double because of the fact that it does 2 rows instead of 1. But yeah, it requires 81 kilowatts and 110 horsepower. It is 14.8 meters wide. It has an 11 mile per hour max working speed and is recommended for use with the AGCO 650 weight. Now, that is just because, once again, you only have one axle. So, as you can see, if I can get a relatively good view, let's see, maybe if I can jump. Yeah. As you can see, you've got you've got quite a bit more on the front than you do on the back. You only got the wheel here, where you've got a lot more tires up here, 2 wheels, plus the PTO shaft, plus the tongue of the trailer. So that puts a lot of weight on the front half, makes it lean this way, where a tractor with only 110 horsepower would probably be popping wheelies, so you'd probably want to be using that weight. Now, we have the high-tech windrower. This is the Kuhn Merge Max 902, and as you can see, I was just looking at the nameplate and model plate right there. This one is insanely cool. This is like a digital windrower. Okay, so see, you run over the hay with this part, and it comes out on whatever side you want. You can have it go through, come out in, hang on, only the middle, only the right, or only the left. Or I was backwards there. Only the right or only the left. But yeah, this is the Merge Max. This is in the 5th slot. This is $110,000, probably just because of the fact that it's the most high-tech thing in the entire windrowing community. It requires 103 kilowatts, 140 horsepower, 99.1 meters wide, so actually less than the Lily Hibiscus, but it requires 14 mile. It has a 14 mile per hour max working speed, so you can actually run a little bit faster. This thing, the axle is way in the back, so all this weight would be on the tongue of your tractor, so you would be wanting to use this weight for sure. Either the SV 1000 sewer weight or the AGCO 1100 weight. Now, we move on. Look at all the stuff we've looked at. We've looked at the thing that cuts the hay. We've looked at the thing that dries the hay. We've looked at the thing that forms the hay. Now, we've got to look at the things that pack the hay. We've got balers. First off, we've got a round baler, which is the New Holland Agriculture Roll Belt 150 round baler. Now, what that roll belt means is, as you can see, I guess as you cannot see. Oh, here we go. See how you've got 4 sections here? Excuse me again. Gosh dang it, my throat is dry as heck right now. But yeah, these are roll belts, okay? These pack the hay. These roll the hay into a big cylindrical thing. But yeah, as you can see, it goes all the way down, and the bale would fit in that little chamber down there. Now, there are 2 different types of balers. You've got roll belts and you've got bar belts. Or I guess not bar belts, but just bar roll. Because my dad's New Holland 850 baler, which is older style, it actually has bars that go this way. And the bad thing about that is it beats against the hay so much that it makes it so it doesn't pack as tight. Where these, they flow with the bale very nicely. They make it so it does not get beat up by the baler itself. And also, there are 2 types of wrapping or actually 3 types of wrapping in the baling community. This one, I believe, since it's supposed to be kind of high-tech, I believe it would probably be a roll belt net wrap. You've got a net that literally is the width of the bale. So it would probably go from about right there to about right there, and it would wrap the entire bale. And I think it's 2 layers of net just to make it tight and strong. But yeah, 2 layers of net, and it is a net wrap. You've also got wire wrap, which is very strong. You literally have to use dikes to cut it, or wire cutters to cut it. And also, the last one is just regular string wrap. That's the way my dad's is. It's an older baler. I think it's like an early 90s, maybe late 80s baler, and it is a string wrap. So it's just got this little itty bitty, maybe 1/4 inch rope, or not 1/4 inch, probably even less than that, probably 1/8 of an inch rope that's wrapped around, and it is not a multiple wraps. Like wire wraps, I think they're actually individual wraps, so you actually have to cut multiple things just to get through it. Where rope wrapping, I guess, or wire wrap, what is it? Gosh dang it, twine wrap. That's it. It starts, it ties it, and then it goes all the way around it multiple times in a huge spiral. Because, like, when our square baler, we didn't have any more hay in the field, and my mom said that my dad should have made square bales. So we had to get a square bale, set it up on the flat face, and just cut one thing of the twine, and then you could just literally walk around the bale, and it would unwrap itself. That was really very convenient. I think twine wrap is nice, but net wrap is just so much more strong for if you're setting the bales. If you're just putting them together and then putting them in a huge bale bin for your cows or hogs or whatever, you can just do the twine wrap, so it's not as expensive. But yeah, let's check out the specs on this. This would be in the 9th column, 2nd row. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time just talking about the balers. But this is the New Holland Agriculture Roll Belt 150. It is $49,000, requires 51 kilowatts and 70 horsepower, so every tractor can run it in game. It has a 12 mile per hour max working speed, can hold 4,000 liters worth of straw, grass, and hay in each bale. Now see, the 3 little icons down at the bottom where it says you can hold this, or this. I think since in the information tab it says straw, grass, or hay, I think that's supposed to be the order that it's in, but I have no idea. I get very confused by that. But now we have a square baler. You may be thinking, dude, that thing is flippin' huge. I know it is. This is a newer fangled square baler. And by the way, guys, if you don't know how a baler works, you know how I said that you would cut the hay, you'd dry it by turning it over, you'd form it into a nice windrow, which is literally just a line of packed, or like a pile of hay in a line going down your field and following around in the pattern that you go. You would run over it because the axles of a tractor, you know, are like one here and one here. The row would go in between those and into this teeth roller here, and it would go in obviously into the baler, be rolled and packed and packed and tightened and tightened and tightened, wrapped and tied by the twine, net, or wire that you have, and then it would be dropped out the back. The square balers, on the other hand, are a little bit different. You still drive over it, and it's still picked up by this, but when it goes in, a plunger inside of this, if you can kind of see it through here, see the thing that looks like the Home Alone furnace back there? It's kind of hard to see, honestly. Yeah, it's very hard to see, but that plunger continuously packs the bale until it is ready to be tied when it gets to 4,000 liters. And then, once that happens, the bale is still being plunged out as other hay is being pulled in to make a new bale, but that bale just keeps being pushed out as the new bale gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then finally, once there's enough bales inside, which I think there's usually 2 on the row that are packed as one is being built, and then once there's 3 full ones, the new first one gets dropped off onto the field. But yeah, this is the Kuhn LSB 1290D powered density square baler. This can be found in the second slot of that bale technology. This is $105,000, so quite a bit more. 103 kilowatts and 140 horsepower, 4,000 liters of either straw, grass, or hay, and 12 mile per hour max working speed. No, extra configurations on this roll belt, were just the wide tires, which made it $49,500. Excuse me. Now we have a round bale wrapping system. This is an amazing baler. This is the Kuhn IntelliWrap FBP 3135. Now this one is very, very cool, because as you can see, if you cut off like right here, it's literally just a Kuhn branded New Holland baler like that. But the hay, straw, or grass is picked up in this roller, thrown into the chamber, wrapped into a bale, and when it's kicked out, when it's ready to be kicked out, it falls into this little crib here, because it will roll out just like that. And then the belts on this start rolling rapidly as this roll here and that roll there start wrapping in like perpendicular way. That wraps it in a like a plastic wrap form, which I think this black stuff is plastic. It might be foil or whatever, but that tightens so hard that it starts heat fermenting the bale, which turns it into silage right there in the field. There are other forms of these wrappers, which you just make a bunch of bales, you actually pull the wrapper up to it, and it just makes this huge worm of a silage bale. That one is actually this thing right here. These two, you just pull it up to a bale, and you can actually drive this up to a bale. And it picks it up, and it kicks it out into a huge worm. You can have 50 bales in one of these wrappers, if, of course, the wrap is enough. But yeah, so this one is the Kuhn FBP 3135. This one is $76,000. It requires 81 kilowatts and 110 horsepower, 4,000 liters of hay, straw, grass, and 12 mile per hour max working speed. The only thing that can be changed on this is the foil color, which changes no price. I am kind of colorblind, so I don't really know. This one I know is white, and this one I know is kind of like a gray. I don't know what this color is. This looks like maybe a off-white, and then this one, it looks bluish, pink-ish, whatever. But yeah, $76,000 is the maximum price because of no extra configuration prices. Now we have literally the back wrapping system without the baler part. You actually have to drive this excuse me, over bales for it to work. So this one is the, let's see, the SW4014. This is a bale wrapper in itself, or silage bale maker. This is $54,000, and it can wrap square or round bales. And this, once again, the foil color is changed, which changes no price in the final one. So this one is really cool. As you can see, this arm literally just turns and it wraps the bale in this foil right here. And the cool aspect of this is that you get 12 extra, or 10 extra boxes of wrap. Now we have bale stackers. So think about it. You have got the mow cut. You've got the grass, hay, straw down on the ground. You've got it cut. You've dried it. You have formed it into a windrow. You've baled it, and if you did not use this baler with the wrapper on the back, you have wrapped it. And how are you going to get those out of the field? Unless you got yourself a pitchfork or a bale spear for your tractor, or a stinger, you're going to need a stacker. These are the Arcusin stacker pair. We've got the 3 bale stack, or the 4 stack, which is a very ironic name. And then you've got the Arcusin FSX 6372 Auto Stack 16 bale stacker. These are both for square bales though, because technically in game you're not supposed to be picking up, or technically in game and in real life you're not supposed to be picking up square bales with a bale spear. So you would need an auto stacker or just pick it up by hand. This is the Arcusin 4 stack 8.12. This is the smaller bale stacker. This only stacks 3 bales. $25,000, 3 bales capacity, and only square bales, no extra configurations. The way this works is this folds out kind of like that first New Holland mower I told you about. The tractor stays here, and this folds out to the side and picks up any bale that you drive to the left of. And then it just picks it up, lifts it up, and then holds it, lifts up a second one, holds it, lifts up a third one, holds it, and then you just drop it where you want. Usually, preferably at the edge of a field so you can pick it up with maybe a skid steer. I'm not sure if skid steer stingers destroy bales like that, but yeah. So this next thing is the FSX 6372 16 bale stacker. This is an auto stacker too, so that's really nice. This is $70,000, a lot more expensive just because of the auto stack feature. 16 bale capacity. And this one is no extra configurations are available, but this one is very cool. This platform, it folds down. These chain-driven pulleys roll, pick up any bales that you drive next to, and as you can see, it's tapered on the corners there, so it's a lot easier to pick up than that, where this one you literally have to be exact, and if you hit the bale, it's going to be screwed up. But yeah, then it just lifts it up here, and then it just keeps backing it up, and then this entire thing, you can see this hydraulic system down there, it lifts it up, and it drops your entire stack of 16 bales down on the ground at your location. Now we have a separate bale stacker. This one is kind of just a bale handler, I guess. This holds 3 bales. This is a Fliegel Schmetterling. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, it is $2,200. Is 3 meters wide. Is recommended for use with the FZ30/60 and the 643R. So I don't really know what those are. Whatever. I'll find out what those are later. But yeah, this one, as you can see, it folds out just like that, and it can hold up to 3 bales, I believe. So that is a very convenient thing. It might only hold 2, one on that side and one on this side. But yeah, very convenient stacker. Now this thing is a very, very convenient thing. I use this thing all the flippin' time. It is wonderful to have. This is a bale trailer. This is the Fliegel DPW210, $26,000, and it doesn't really, I think it auto loads actually, and you can, the only configurations on this are loading left or loading right, which doesn't change anything. As you can see on the front there, it either goes from left to right, and as you can see, it switches. Narrow tires, however, can be switched to standard tires for $800 and wide tires for $1,000, making the maximum price for this bale trailer $27,000. But yeah, so that is the entirety of the bale technology. So this is very cool. We've got the mowers that cut, the tedders that dry, windrows that form, bales that pack. You've got the wrappers that wrap, stackers that stack, handlers that handle, and trailers that trailers that trail would not work. Trailers that transport, I guess. But I bet you're wondering, hey dude, when you're up in that tree, there was these 6 loading wagons over here. What are these for? These are for just loading loose hay. Okay, loose hay, loose grass, loose straw. So once these are in a windrow, or if they're not, but that would just be kind of stupid to run this without formed hay. These you'd pick up, it packs it in there, and you would throw it into a silage pit to be covered with plastic and fermented for the season. Throw in, of course, your cows need silage. Because if you guys did not know, silage is a much better alternative to just straight hay. So here we got the Strautmann Zelon, what is that? CFS 2501DO. This one you can find in the 9th column in the first row. This one is $46,000, so already kind of expensive right off the bat for a loading wagon. Requires 70 kilowatts and 95 horsepower, so every tractor can run it. 23,000 liter capacity, and can hold chaff, looks like straw, grass, and hay, as well as silage. This one has configurations it has no extra configurations. I apologize for that. $46,000 total price. Now we have the Bergman Repex 34S. This is $80,000. Has a requirement of 88 kilowatts and 120 horsepower. 34,000 liter capacity, holds once again chaff, straw, grass, hay, and silage, and no extra configurations are available on this one either. I prefer this one, even though it has a little bit more of a horsepower requirement, but just the inside, you can see the chains. When you have it full, it's packed. These teeth rollers just kick it into the silage pit, and same with the Strautmann. Hang on if I can get out of here. As you can see with the Strautmann, it's just got these cables on here, so I just don't really like the look of that. But now we move on to the brand that I always mispronounce. What is this? Sweetmaker? I think that's Sweetmaker. This is the Rapid 80. Looks like that's what it was called. 580. Rapid 580V. This is a $100,000 forage wagon or loading wagon. It requires 110 kilowatts, 150 horsepower, 35,000 liter capacity. So I think this is a complete waste of money because of the fact that it requires more horsepower and it's only 1,000 liters more. Holds the same stuff, and wheel brands can be changed from Trelleborg to Michelin, but no price is changed. So in this case, I always prefer the Bergman over this Sweetmaker, just because of the fact that this is almost a waste, just because of the fact that this thing is 34,000 liters and is only $80,000. This one is 35,000 liters, only 1,000 more, and it is $100,000, $20,000 more. Now we move on to the Fendt. This is a big forage wagon. This is the Fendt Tygo 75 X something D. I didn't even see the letter. XR75D. Okay, this is $124,000 from Fendt. 147 kilowatts to 200 horsepower, 42,000 liters, and can hold the same stuff. And now this one I actually do prefer over the Sweetmaker and Bergman, just because it is bigger, it is more expensive, and although it does require a little bit more horsepower. Now, wheels this time, Trelleborg to Michelin does change a little bit. Standards are 2100 and wide tires are 30-50, making the maximum price for this Fendt loading wagon $127,250. Now we move on to my all-time, my completely the favorite loading wagon in game. We've got the Krone. ZX560GD. This is a huge loading wagon. Now this one has a lot of configurations too. Okay, so this is the ZX560GD. This is 165,000, so much more expensive. 177 kilowatts and 240 horsepower, so quite a bit more horsepower. 56,000 liters, so quite a bit more capacity, and it can hold all the same stuff. Now the configurations: Trelleborg wheels, you can either have standard or wides for an extra 1,000. In Michelin's, you have standards for a whopping $5,350, $5,350. And look at the price for wide tires, $7,250. If you add the cover on, which adds $5,000, makes the maximum price for this Krone loading wagon $177,250. And as we move on to our last one. Now, something funny I was going to do, which I kind of forgot to do, was, you know how I probably mispronounced the Schweetmaker or whatever you call it? I was going to say, like, and now we move on to a loading wagon that I always remember the name, how to pronounce the name. Fendit. I was going to say Fendit, you know. And then this one I was going to say, oh, sorry, here's another one that I always know how to pronounce. Crony. You know, Crony. But, yeah, I had the Krone in there. But, yeah, that was just something funny. But I just thought, let's be logical. So, now we move on to our last loading wagon. This is the Schweetmaker Rapid 8400. This is the biggest loading wagon in game. It is right past the Krone. It is the $150,000. It is actually cheaper than the Krone. It holds only $500 more, 500 liters more. Requires the same amount. So, this Schweetmaker, although the Krone is my favorite just because I like the Krone brand, Schweetmaker is actually much more logical, okay? Because this one is $15,000 less, requires the same amount of horsepower, holds 500 liters more, and yeah, it's just really cool. I mean, configurations, you either have standard or extension. Trelleborg's to Michelin's changes nothing, so the maximum price for this is still less than the Krone, making it $153,500. So, wow. Wow. We've gone through all these things. We've got new mowers, tedders, windrowers, merger, balers, wrappers, stackers, the front loader attacher, the trailer, and loading wagons. But there's one more thing that is not actually in the parking lot right now. They're in my back pocket. They are in my back pocket. Yes, you may be wondering, bro, what the heck do you have in your back pocket? Chainsaws! Yes, chainsaws. Chainsaws are the last thing we are looking at today. But these are very simple to look at. First, we've got the steel. And then we've got the one that sounds exactly like it, the McCulloch. Then we have the two that sound different, the Husqvarna and the Johnson. I'm glitching out! No, I need caffeine! No, sorry. But yeah, that was the chainsaws. We'll just look at those really quick. There's nothing really much to look at. I just wanted to complete this entire 3x2 section right here. Chainsaws, they're very simple. First, you've got the MS-261 from Steel. This is an actual Regal Life brand and model from Steel. It is $1,000. Husqvarna is a 550 XP, $1,000. The Johnson is a CS2252, and the McCulloch is the CS410. All of them are $1,000, and the thing is, these you can't actually see in the shop because if you buy them, it'll just say, okay, thank you for your purchase. But personally, my favorite would probably be the Steel. Just because I'm a Steel person. Real people are Steel people, so I must be a real person. Second favorite would probably be the McCulloch, just because I am personally a Steelers fan. I am personally a Hawkeyes fan, so I love the black and gold, or black and yellow, whatever you want to call it. So that is an awesome looking one. Husqvarna would probably be my third favorite. I don't really personally like the brand unless it's on dirt bikes, but just because it's usually built in America, And fourth would have to be the Johnson Red, because honestly, outside of Farming Simulator, I've never seen that brand. I've never seen it. But yeah, that is our conclusion. We have looked at, well, I will review it again: mowers, tedders, windrowers, the merger, balers, wrappers, bale stackers, the holder, the trailer, loading wagons, and the chainsaws. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my loyal subscribers who always watch my videos. Please, if you like this video, hit that like button. And also, if you want to see all my videos I post in the future, including my Farming Simulator series and also my Sniper Elite 4 videos that I'm posting, and hopefully I might be posting Battlefield 1 and 5 pretty soon, please hit the subscribe button and become part of the Wolf Pack by hitting the bell that says all. Doing that will make you part of the notification squad. Yeah, and please, if you hit that subscribe button, please make me get to 25 subscribers by the end of the year. That is my goal. I started out and I wanted to get to 15 subscribers by the end of the year, and I have already gotten to 18 right now, so I'm hoping to get to 25 by the end of the year. So please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I have been the Lone Wolf, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much.